Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Stevie, Nicol and myself in our cosy little studio here.
Do you know what, I was thinking about Jan earlier.
What?
On the show, we didn't have time. You know, we were talking about how rivalries carry on, even after you finish playing. I was with Gab at the Liverpool Real Madrid final, the accreditation, the day before, the morning of the game. And standing in front of me was a guy called Stuart Pearce. Right. And neither one of us said a word. As soon as Jan was talking about it, it was in my head. I thought, yeah, we don't have time during the show to tell him.
That's so funny.
Aye.
And that was just an unwritten rule between the two of you as well, just clearly, okay.
Never even looked at each other.
Frank Liphoff and Jan also with us. I like that. Has there been anything like that for you, Jan?
No, I was always friendly. I never had an enemy. Of course, there were some of the guys, but it also has to be said when, and I don't know, Frank, yeah, we experienced that when we came to England. At that time, we had a players' lounge, and one of the things that I loved with English football is on the pitch we were like fighting, and we were doing all the tricks in the books to win the football game, and afterwards we had a drink in the bar, the players' lounge. It doesn't exist anymore, but I love that. I love that fairness of English football, except from Stuart Pearce and Stevie Nicol, of course.
The Borough still has a players' lounge, Jan. I'll let you know.
Yep. I have, and the guy, Kay, who is there, I went over some years ago, and I met him, and I forgot his name, but I knew this was my best friend at Borough, because he always let me have so many people from Norway in. So yes, the most important guy who's in the door at the Players' Lounge in English football.
Everybody's best friend.
Good job he forgot his name then, eh?
We had Terry Littlewood on the door. Terry was actually always on the door as well at Christmas party.
That was always a good thing, right?
Terry was a good man to know.
Don't start with the Christmas parties.
Yeah.
Don't.
Ask Juninho the next time you meet him, the little Brazilian, how his first Christmas party was in Middlesbrough. He was shocked for 1 year.
Yeah, I have a feeling that he would not tell me that. Frank, any rivalries that you've carried over afterwards?
It's only one, Alan Shearer. Oh, Alan Shearer.
No. Even Alan, I remember on the game Stevie was referring, Liverpool against Real Madrid. He was in the stand, and I was with Alexi, and I saw Alan Shearer, and I went to see him, and we say hi, and we had a good time. He was smiling, and I was smiling. I think the war is over, and we became wise, and that's the age who makes it, you know, which makes it. But really, no, I remember even the coach that I hated. I was in Strasbourg, and for 4 years he was my coach, and we didn't talk to each other, and it was a hard time. And I saw him 2 years ago in Switzerland, and I think Jan knows the guy I'm talking about is Gilbert Gress. He was the coach of Stuttgart. And was a great player, and we talked. And in fact, we bonded so well together that we call each other every month to see if everybody's okay. And he's a great guy. He was terrible as a coach for me, and I was the worst player for him. But we are friends now, so everything is possible.
I have a fresh one, Kay. I tried this season to have with me pitch side in the Premier League Erling Haaland and Roy Keane.
Oh,
so
good luck
remember
with that.
Yeah, good luck. But this was my ambition for this season. So I went to Roy Keane. Is there a possibility? And he said, yeah, there is a possibility. I went to Alfie. Is there a possibility? And then we came to the big moment that I tried to get him. No, there was no possibility.
No,
there was nothing between them. There was nothing between them. And now it's just turning into a joke, because on some games we have them pitch side, but I haven't managed it yet.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. If you're not sure what he's talking
about,
go and Google it and you'll see why. All right, we've got lots of questions, so we've got a lot to get through. Let's start. For all, rank these leagues in terms of playing the most attractive football. Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, Premier League, Liga. You don't have to give your reasons, you can just give the name of the league. Well, you know what? Who's the top? Attractive football.
Attractive football. Well, every single team and every single league tries to play attractive football, and the way the game is refereed, the way the game is tried to be played, everybody plays attractive football. What's more enjoyable, I guess, would be a better way of putting it.
Okay. Well,
it's a tough one, this one.
All right, you have a thing. Who's got an answer? Go on, Frank.
That's tough.
I'm going. I have an answer. For me, I like attacking football, and it's why I'm more fond of Anglo-Saxon football. So therefore, I'm going to go for the Premier League. Because it's interesting, because there is a big fight and it's always hard, and all players, they go for it, and it's very interesting. Then I go for the Bundesliga, because when you watch the Bundesliga, you're never bored. I mean, it's always something interesting, and sometimes it's not that good, but because of the spirit of the player and they want to go forward, it's interesting. Then of course, I have to put the Liga, because of the players that you have, of the team that you have, and the fact that it's an open game, and you have also interest. And then after, it's between the Liga and the Serie A that I don't know. Serie A improved a lot in terms of entertainment, where in my time it was very defensive and kind of boring, and I never watched it. Now it's becoming better, and Liga tries to do its best, but every year you have so many good players stolen from the Liga, so it's hard for them to survive. But the football is interesting, but it's not at the same level as the others. So Premier League, Bundesliga, Liga, and after it's between Serie A and Liga.
All right, we won't spend too long on it. Go on, Jan.
Now, just saying that, I think that what is a plus for the Bundesliga is also the crowd culture. I think that, yes, we have a good culture in the Premier League as well, but the fan culture in Germany is world class. So I would put them on one there. But in the number of great football players, there are more of them in the Premier League. So I would say that Premier League will have the most attractive football.
Stevie, what piece of football commentary was your favourite or most iconic?
Oh. Do you know, I've got to tell you, the first piece of commentary I remember was David Coleman, when Pelé, 1970 World Cup, Pellé's header that Gordon Banks saved. I can still hear it in my head. And that's a Scotsman talking about an English goalkeeper. That's the one thing I can hear in my head. I would be 9 years old at the time.
Want to do an impression?
Of David Coleman? No. No, that would be mine.
That's what sticks out for you.
David Coleman.
Anything for you guys?
I think that
Sorry. After the World Cup in '98, there was that guy was doing commentary in France called Thierry Roland, who passed away some years ago. But I had the chance to work with him after in 2006 and 2008. But it was really the top. How do you say, a commentator in football, and after the game, because he followed I think 6 or 7 World Cups, he said after the game, "Oh my God, it's so good, now we can die, you know, the latest, but we can die." And he said the F word and everything on TV, which was absolutely forbidden. The guy let it go, got crazy, crying. I mean, that was fantastic. And every year you have the game, and they put those comments because the guy was a legend, and what he said was only the truth. What everybody was feeling was the first time we are winning the World Cup. So the guy said, "At least we did it. Come on." Then he said, "We can die." That's crazy.
Go on then, Jan.
I think that I'm not that old, but I will advise people to go back to the '66 final, England against West Germany, when I think it was Kenneth Wustholm or something. He said, "I think, and Jeff Hurst has scored 2 goals in the game. It's 3-2 England, and in 120th minute he comes through, and as he's shooting, he says they'll think it's over." Talking about the fans coming onto the pitch, and he scores and say it is now fantastic. But Stevie knows that I will end up with a Norwegian, because Norway beat
Winston Churchill. Yeah, I remember it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And of course, as a commentator, we know that somewhere he had to slip up a piece of paper that if Norway should beat England, this was in 1981, I think, and he named all the Maggie Thatcher, Sir Winston Churchill, Lady Diana, and he said, your boys, and he used some swear words as well. I should use them here.
You took a hell of a beating.
Yeah, fantastic. And for Norway, that was fantastic.
So many people do that as well now.
I remember it well. Don't worry, Jan, the whole of Scotland loved it as well.
I bet they did.
I bet you did.
Question to Frank. Rank these Chelsea teams. Vialli's 97 to 2000, Mourinho's 2004 to 2007, Di Matteo/Benitez 12-13, and Tuchel's 21-22.
I think I will have to go for Mourinho. Winning the Premier League is something exceptional. Being able to do it twice, even if the football wasn't that sparkling and entertaining, the results were absolutely fantastic. So I will put them first. Then after, I will put my era with Gianluca Vialli, because we won 6 cups in 5 years, and that was exceptional. And the football we are playing was also attractive at the time, and also we launched, in fact, the new foundation of the Chelsea good era in football history. And then I will go for Di Matteo. It was a surprise, a Champions League, but it was a bit chaotic. And Tuchel at the end, because in fact it was in the middle of the COVID, and I don't know, it was very strange era for football. We had no fans, so it's nice to win the Champions League, but in front of so few crowds. It's not something that I will remember as one of the best era. So yeah, Mourinho first, Vialli second, Di Matteo third, and Tuchel fourth.
Okay, Stevie, should fans voice their concern when Liverpool has not addressed the issue with their backline, especially left side defender and a right back? It seems without reinforcement in these two positions, it will be difficult for Liverpool to challenge for the top 4.
Listen, you're always wanting to be the best, and so you're always trying to... You can't buy everybody. That's the bottom line. Unless you're Man City or Barcelona, who change take the wheels off and start again, you can't just go and buy everybody. You've got to try and think about what's the most important part. And they've done that by going to... What are you laughing at?
That's what I'm laughing at.
What?
Why are you laughing, guys?
What are you two giggling for?
No, I think that is a fantastic statement, Stevie. You can't buy everybody. I mean, fantastic. Just sums up the whole transfer window. Tell that to everybody. You can't buy everybody.
Yeah, well, you know what it's like. Fans don't want to hear that you don't have this amount of money. They don't want to hear that he's not available, and they don't want to hear
That's
this.
True. That's true.
They don't want to hear all that.
But should they be concerned?
Well, yes, you should be concerned. You should be concerned, but
that's football.
But when you can't buy your way out it, then you have to do it by other means.
Sorry, guys.
And defensively, the other means is getting them back on the training field and try and get them back to where they were, which is not going to be easy. But yeah, they should have a concern, because it is a concern.
Doom and gloom ahead for you. Stevie, did you really try to blame the pitch for Arsenal losing? Do you hate United that much?
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you, there was a fair bit. Even my mentions blew up yesterday, because obviously I'd put out the original questions for Extra Time, and there'd been... No, I wasn't even on Extra Time. It was just the fact that I'd put that we were going to be on, and there was a lot of upset that you guys couldn't give United credit for their victory against Arsenal.
See, if anybody that watched the show properly would that's not true. We absolutely gave them credit. You were sitting there.
I know I was.
We did give them credit.
We did give them credit.
Aye.
There are no friendlies.
We
there
were
are
trying
no
to say
friendlies.
Arsenal can't play their game, though, with the pitch that they were on.
Well, absolutely. And that's the truth.
Had they been able to?
Well, I think, we'll put it this way. Right now, if you and I were to have a bet, the first time that Manchester United and Arsenal play, I'm going to say that Arsenal are favourites. Because I think Arsenal are a better football team. Now, on the day, they might not turn up and play their best, and United might be at the best, and they might win the game. But I mean, listen, all we do is be honest. And the truth is, if you're a team that plays quick, incisive, good movement football, you can't play on a field where the ball doesn't bounce properly.
So why
That's what we said.
Why did United win yesterday?
Because they took the chances when they came along. And by the way, the 2 chances they got was not to do with Man United playing silky soccer, right? So again, anybody that watched the game...
He almost was going to be nice then, wasn't he? He almost was going to be nice. But then he had to bring up the fact that the goal came from errors.
But they were more aggressive. They were well organised. They gave nothing away. They took the chances when it came along. And so they deserve to win the game. I mean, what else do you want? I've just told you they deserve to win the game. And the fact that I'm not a Man United fan and I'm not at the top of my Christmas card list doesn't mean anything. I just tell you the truth.
There you go.
Stevie, you're on fire. You're on fire, Stevie.
I'm sure the United fans will let us know.
Just the mere mention of the name Man United gets me gone.
Okay. Frank, you
Martinez, did you ask me about Martinez there? About his challenge?
I asked you about Martinez earlier, yeah.
All right.
You were actually quite nice.
No, all right.
For you?
Yeah, I guess to tell you, okay, I'll leave it.
All right. Frank, you have a last-minute free kick to win the game. Who are you trusting to score? Can I put Prime on the front here? Lionel Messi, David Beckham, or James Ward-Prowse?
I have to say that I'm hesitating between Lionel Messi and David Beckham, because I remember that fantastic free kick that David Beckham scored with England the last second. I think it was during the World Cup.
Yeah.
Old Trafford.
If I'm correct.
No, it was to get there.
Euro.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they will. Yeah.
But I think Euro, yeah. But I think I will have to go for Lionel Messi. I mean, he did it so many times, and he's a real expert. So I will have to pick. I will have to pick Lionel Messi. Yeah.
Okay, Jan, Haaland scored twice in a friendly. Does he score less than last season, around the same amount, or will he break his record from last season? And remember that Pep Guardiola said he's fitter right now than he was last season.
Yeah, and that was one of the keys last season, because we underestimate that he had a season he just missed 1 or 2 games. Unfortunately for Norway, that was two of the qualification games, remember. That was terrible for us, and then he missed 1 game in the league as well. He'll be fitter. I think that he will be a better footballer the coming season. He will develop even more. But I think that 52 goals. I mean, can we believe that he will make 52 goals? Yes, I think. I think he will do 50 again. Absolutely.
All right. For the boys, fans seem to go overboard about pre-season wins and losses. How much importance did you put on pre-season matches when you were playing? None?
Not none.
None? A level?
None.
Not none, but...
None.
No.
None?
No, I didn't like friendly games. I didn't like it at all. Terrible. But you need to... Sorry, Frank.
Go ahead, Jan.
I'm always polite to the world champions. I will always let them affront of me, but okay, I will say that I didn't like friendlies. We've seen so many teams who are having a fantastic preseason, and you get that confidence of everything is working. There are so many coincidences. Having said that, there are teams that need to find a way of playing, and it's never bad to win football game. So with Manchester United beating Arsenal yesterday, that is good for them. Does that mean that we are 100% sure they will start the league well? No, we don't. But don't underestimate a good result as Manchester United did against Arsenal. It's good for their confidence. It's good for some of the players in there to see that they can do it against the second best team in England.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have won if it was a different pitch, Jan.
Exactly.
Glad you noticed.
But for me, Kay, it was really the matter of being physically ready and knowing the new players. But I remember, playing my first game and having the first training session when you always, like we say, maybe tenths of a second late. And then after a month that you're going to get that. And then you can work on your anticipation as a defender. That you can work on being very precise. And it's what I was trying to find during the preseason. Being fit, being ready, working on my technique, on my vision. but didn't care at all about the result of any friendlies. It was just being ready for the real games.
See, coaching-wise, when I was at the Revs, pre-season, I don't remember ever once mentioning the word win. Right. You know, when you're playing in your season, whether you're Premier League, MLS, whatever it is, you're talking about winning. You're getting that. You're talking about how you're going to win. This is how we win. You know, in order to win, we've got to do this and all that. In pre-season, all the games, the only thing I spoke about was whenever you feel it, just keep pushing through it. It's all about getting your runs in, getting your reps in. It's all about getting your times in, playing for as long as you can. If you're feeling something, you get off. That's the sort of talk that certainly I did as a coach. I never spoke about winning.
But having said that, Kay, it maybe changed a bit now with the media situation, with the social media and all that kind of things that back in our days, because I think now it's more important to just be there from day one. It's a brand. You can't send a top team of Europe going to America, going to Asia and lose all games. You don't do that anymore. So I think that is one of the biggest challenge for the managers now, to get into your game, what Frank was talking about, what Steve is talking about, because for a football player, it's all about getting that balance, that vision in your game. But see now Manchester City in Japan, you see so many fans, they're not coming there to see them get beaten 3-0. They want to see the superstars score goals. So I think that it's maybe changed a bit since our days.
All right, well actually it leads to the next question, which is for you, Stevie. What's the one thing you didn't like about pre-season? I'll ask you as a player.
Oh, most of it. There's nothing enjoyable about it.
You were talking on the way back over yesterday when we were on our way up the stairs about how managers have got to get it right with their players as well, because they know what it was like to be a player too.
Yeah. I
Most
remember,
managers anyway.
I remember this time last year, we were talking about Conte with Spurs, and they finished training with 30 laps, 30 lengths of the field. I mean, you talk about driving people into the ground for no apparent reason. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So, and I didn't do as many as that, but some coaches I had made us do runs like that. And I'm like, well, what's that all about? You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You can run with a ball. Run with the ball. Don't just send them off on 30 laps just for what? You get nothing out of it. All you get is people getting disgruntled and getting fed up.
That's why everyone loved playing for Stevie.
Honest to goodness.
For Frank, what is the bigger event for the French, the Tour de France or the World Cup?
Ooh.
Oh. Well, the Tour de France is free for anybody who wants to go on the road, the side of the road, and watch it. I mean, it's great. And I think in the world, it's like more than 3.5 billion people watching it. And French people, they love it. And even in the middle of what they called in the world riots, during the beginning of the Tour de France, people were there and they were watching it. I mean, it's a great event, and they love it because it's very popular, and people, they love to see it, and it's and you go. I love watching it because you know you have a commentator who says a little bit of history of the church that you see when the cyclists they go through. So they talk about the region. It's always nice, but when you have a competition like the World Cup. And we'll have the World Cup for rugby in October, I think, in France. It's going to be huge. People are really looking forward to watching it, and the World Cup is a World Cup, and people are really tense, more than interesting comparing to the Tour de France. They're tense. They want France to win. They get crazy. They get the makeup, and they don't want to talk to you. They want to win. Tour de France, they love it. It's enjoyable.
All right. Some really great questions to finish out. First of all, which present-day players are most similar to you in their playing style and temperament?
Wow.
Frank, it looks like you have an idea of who you're going to say there.
I think about it, and I don't have a name because I think my football was different. I wasn't the best defender, and from far, comparing to some of the players that I could have thought about, like Marquinhos, like Ramos, offensively, where they bring something that I was able to bring. But with the ball, I was kind of a playmaker for Chelsea when I was launching long balls, and I can't find of anybody that I can compare to myself because I will find him better than me defensively, like Ramos and Marquinhos. They are better defenders than I was, but offensively, I was able to do things because I was playing I started as a youth player, as a midfielder. I was able to score goals that I never seen Ramos or Marquinhos doing, but I can't find anybody. Maybe I love the way Thiago Silva plays. I might be a little bit closer to that player than the others, but he was, when he was at his prime, he was a hell of a defender, which I'd never been.
The World Cup winner. If there's anyone that stands out to you guys that you think is like one of you guys were back in the day as well, it doesn't just have to be about yourself, then make sure to say that too. What about you, Jan?
Stevie, John Terry for Stevie. John Terry for Stevie.
Now, I would say that Stevie.
Terry on the wing.
Now, Stevie, I would say Stuart Pearce. You have to say that, don't you? But
yeah.
I had a time now to think of it when Frank was speaking, and first of all, I think the assessment of himself is very good for Frank, because Frank was a defender who was brilliant offensively as well. I mean, what a great vision he had in his game, and there's not many of those kind of players in the modern football. As for myself, I've been thinking a lot about this, and I guess it must be Erling Haaland.
I thought you were going to say Ali Moreno there.
Erling Haaland, one and the same.
The same.
Exactly.
The thing is, that's not his fault. That's the players who played alongside him. We didn't give him the right balls. You know, that's what it is.
Exactly.
You know, Haaland is served where Jan wasn't served. That's it.
I mean,
exactly. That's easy. That easy.
They're both Norwegian, so you know.
Yeah.
Yep, Stevie.
Yeah.
Do you know, there's not really anybody, because it's a different game. And I will say, as far as temperament, there's a lot of players get the same temperament as me. But the way they played the game, like today, the one thing that annoys me, when I was playing full-back, when I went forward and I got wide in an area, I was always going to do it, and I was always encouraged to get after whoever was up against me. You know? Particularly if it's one-on-one. It's like, the rules were, if it's one-on-one, you get after them. And if it doesn't work out, that's fine. Get yourself back to defend. You don't do that now. How many times do you see fullbacks getting forward, they get parallel with the penalty box, or maybe just not quite that far up, and they've just run 40 yards to get the ball, and what do? They turn around and go backwards, and the ball ends up at the halfway line. That drives me insane, the amount of times that happens, and I can't stand it about the game.
And it was great. It was great to see when I went to this Player of the Year thing in London a month ago, and with all these superstars that people say are the biggest of our game, and in the middle there, a big photo of Player of the Year, Stevie Nicol. And that was fantastic to see, Stevie. Brilliant. Loved it.
Thank you.
You know what I compare to Stevie to John is because, yeah, the positioning was different, but the spirit of Stevie, the way he was playing football, when I saw John Terry, I said there is something, you know, where the guy has leadership. He knows what he does with his football, and when he was going for it, he was going for it, and it's what I loved about the game of Stevie. It was always 100%. So that's why I thought about John.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely,
amazing, isn't it? For Stevie, did you get Don to pay for dinner?
No, we all paid their own.
Right.
Well, I didn't eat. I didn't eat. I just had a few beers.
A few beers.
Aye.
I can't tell if that's a little dig.
Well, you know that.
I didn't make Don pay for my dinner.
Yeah, you know that. No, I invited you the last time. You know, I think when we went together with
that's right. Yeah, we're in the same place, the Oyster Bar.
But Yes, yeah, exactly. But the thing is, Stevie, yes, we were together. Stevie doesn't eat.
No.
He doesn't eat. I've never seen that in my life. The guy is only drinks. I've never seen that in my life. You want to invite him? No, I'm just having
some beer, some beer. I mean, now, I put it to so lovely. Frank invited us all to dinner as well last time he was here. And Don and Robbo invited me to dinner. They wouldn't let me pay even though I offered. But I did put the tip down. Oh. They let me do that, okay? So I didn't make him pay for dinner.
Robbo's a right gentleman. He's old school, isn't he?
Proper old school, yeah.
Proper old school.
Wouldn't have it. All right, Frank, as the king of humility, I'm sure you haven't looked this up, but maybe you could come up with an educated guess. Are you the most famous person to have lived in your 300-year-old house in Normandy?
Good question.
Aye.
No, not at all. You know, I think the first honor was the Navy, I would say, commander of Louis XIV. My house is 314 years old, and the owner who got this house lived only for 3 years in this house before passing away. And in fact, you have in my fireplace, you have a fantastic thing that Louis XIV offered to that guy who's called Leroux. And it's, I'm not the most famous guy because that guy was very famous and really richer than I am. A lot, a lot.
So he did know. That's a good question, Sergeant Barnes. Sergeant Barnes sends a good few questions into Extra Time. All right, last question for the panel. Now that Jan is becoming more fit, I'm trusting his word from one of the ESPN FC Extra Time shows, do you guys think he will win a one-on-one race with that fish costume guy?
Oh.
No.
Oh, no.
Every time.
I was trying I was willing myself. I was willing myself, but no.
It's never not funny.
No, I mean, seriously. I mean, the guy's basically got his legs tied together and he almost got Jan. You know what I mean?
Just like Haaland.
He should have jumped in that net at the end.
I guess everybody can see how similar I am to Erling Haaland. Everybody can see that.
Sure.
Oh, Jan, we do need that race again. Are you going to do it again?
Yeah, I was today, coincidentally, with my nephews, and I said, just as you know, as camera people, you are very famous in America. They don't know your names, but you're very famous. I will do it again.
That's all we've got time for. One of my favourite things about Extra Time is that they are always ready to roll that race.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is
speed dial, isn't it?
It is on the Extra Time speed dial. That is a classic, legendary piece. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. Some great ones today. Thank you so much.